the 13th session of the Samvada. Today we have Lieutenant Colonel Navaneet Lobana, who is the project engineer cum state officer. And before the talk, I was just having brief a conversation with her. So she has a very interesting topic today to share with us, her experience, and she is going to talk about the service ethos. Let's see what this about, and we will come to know very soon about it. So I welcome Lieutenant Colonel Navaneet Lobana.
A very good afternoon to everybody. I am Lieutenant Colonel Navaneet Lobana, retired. After I've put in 21 years in the army, I was commissioned. I'll just cover briefly about my career brief in the starting, and then I would like to address something about the because we all keep watching in the news, in hearing in the movies about Indian Army and about our armed forces. So to join the forces and to be in it and to live that, what is basically the service ethos of our armed forces, be it Indian Army, Air Force or the Navy. So I'll briefly cover the ideology behind it and what all goes into the mindset to grill an individual to join the forces. So firstly, a brief about me. I was commissioned into the Corps of Engineers. After I'm a technical entry, I did my BE Tech from Thapar Institute of Engineering and Technology, Patiala, and I joined the forces in 2002. I had the unique privilege of being commissioned directly into the operations. As you all know, during September 2001, our parliament was attacked, so the entire Indian Army was mobilized. So I joined during the Operation Parakram, wherein we all had the entire Indian Army was deployed along the international border, IB. So I'll probably in some other lecture I'll cover. There are a lot of lines of control. There is line of control, LAC, line of actual control, international border. So during that time, we had deployed, our Indian Army had deployed along the international border, which is demarcated and recognized by both the countries. So we had taken like defenses. So during that time I got commissioned, and I mean, I never even after being trained for a year in OTA, I did not know what was kind of what was how to see it actually on ground. So I taken a train as usual. It was Ganganagar. One of the I had the unique privilege of being the first lady officer who was commissioned into my regiment. So even my regiment did not know what to do with me. So precisely, they were also looking forward that how, kind of a women officer will adjust in a totally operational environment, and even I was also no. So it was a very kind of a complex situation for both my commanding officer. So I was taken from the railway station, and the where I put my suitcase and bag and backpack was a bunker. So, without a door or without, a lady going into an operation area, and that is a 10 by 10 bunker with a rifle in a hand. So there was, as such, in an operational area, you're deployed. So you don't have like, you have a toilet or a nice, dining area. You get that food in your mess kit which you are issued, aluminium box you might have seen, and that we have that vase, white colored, so that is issued to you from the army, and you are in your backpacks. So I was like, yaar, ye kahan phas gaye? So that was, so slowly I was grilled into this thing, and it was very nice experience. During the first 1.5 years, I did not see a Pakka RCC roof. We were totally deployed in the area, and I had the best of the seniors and the best of the senior subalterns, which we call senior subaltern. is kind of a senior officer who's like, if I'm a lieutenant, then he'll be a captain with probably 1 or 2 years of service. He'll be like a guide, a mentor. So I had the privilege of getting the best mentors who guided me. And the routine used to be very typical. In the early morning, 6 o'clock, you have to go into your deployment. During the day, you have to go for route marches, because it is basically looking after your own area and recce. So that was the first tenure. In the second tenure, demobilization, demining, everything took place. And I was posted to Jodhpur, where my unit was in peace, but then also we used to go for exercises. In the exercises, we kind of plan for actual scenarios. So when the war takes place, you don't have actual time, to respond. So to test what is our response timings, you are kind of war gaming yourself. Like, you are given actual scenarios. One of the units or the divisions is given the task of being the blue land, and the other division is giving the red land. So you actually kind of play the actual scenarios. Like, suppose they give you, like, now your commander is gone, so what next? So that tenure also was a very challenging and a very learning experience. So next, I was posted as assistant garrison engineer in Jalandhar. So that was a peace tenure, looking after installations of MES, and I was looking after the roads and the buildings. So then I was posted. After that, I had a brief tenure in a design and consultancy office in Pune. And after that, I had the privilege of being the first lady officer to go as a garrison engineer. So I consider the first one and this tenure as my most challenging tenures, because even this was a kind of a challenge to me, because all these contractors had never seen a garrison engineer as a lady. So and that too in a station like Uttar Pradesh, Agra. So, everybody is aware what general, kind of a crowd and political scenario is there in Uttar Pradesh. So, but that also, I would consider that was a very nice, and I would say it really tested my limits, but I had the best of the times. I had thanks to my team, and that was, I consider, one of the best of my tenures, 2.5 years. And later on, I got posted to Bangalore. That's why I am so familiar with this city. I am already in love with it. When I came for the interview, I already knew a lot about Bangalore. So I was posted in MEG Center as an instructor for 2.5 years. We basically train the troops. It is MEG Center is a training establishment for soldiers who get commissioned into Madras Sappers. So I was instructor for around 2 years, 8 months there. And later on, I got, after this peace tenure, I had a tenure in Jammu and Kashmir, that is Udhampur. I raised a unit, which is the G Command Test Lab. It is also one of a kind of a unit, because in all these areas, these are all counter-insurgency prone areas and disturbed areas. So all these specialist like colleges and labs, they are not available at a regular intervals. Some stone pelting incident takes place, or some disturbance takes place. So all these institutes and like we are in the south, we don't come to know what kind of scenario is actually in there. So any disturbance takes place, all these institutes close. So they needed set up a lab in which we could test the materials which were used for our maintenance services and our projects. So I was given the responsibility to set up a material testing lab of all the civil engineering materials. So after that, I had a tenure as a Deputy Commander Works Engineers in Patiala. And my last tenure, I got selected for MTech as MTech structures in College of Military Engineering, Pune. And after 21 years, I had put up my papers. So I am very unique and privileged to be a part of IISc now. And having said that, while preparing for this talk, I was thinking about what should be my topic. So I prepared a topic on self-compacting concrete. Then I recited that in front of the mirror. Then I said, how boring am I finding it? Then my audience, what will my audience see after listening to that? Then I was like pondering, like what exactly should I talk about myself? Then I thought probably I can tell something about myself, my life journey, and a little bit of like when a person joins an armed forces, what is basically the service ethos. So I thought probably I would cover a little bit of that, and so that you can have a general idea, and then we can have any questions or any interaction you want to ask me. You feel free to be wherever. In case you want to stop me in middle, you feel free to, or should we wait in the end, ma'am? Any questions? In the end. Okay. So with that brief, I'll start with that. So this is my topic, that is service ethos. It basically it's coming from a Greek word ethos, which is a moral ideas and attitudes that belong to a particular society or a group. It also means all these words. I think you can go through this: the spirit, the morality, the sentiments, the moral nature, the attitudes, guiding beliefs of any person who's joining. So this is all like just to take in branch of the knowledge dealing with. This is all. So ethics, basically the moral code of conduct, the principles, values, conduct, and the dictates of the conscience of a serviceman. So I will cover a brief knowledge about the customs of the service, the military courtesy, social etiquettes, and the relationship between officers and ORs. So this is basically what this ethos of service means in general. So in the words of our Field Marshal K.M. Karyappa, the ingredients of a service ethos is, you can read in his words: I'm a serviceman, my armed forces is the last resort of my people, and in my country, if I or my service or my armed forces fail, my country will disintegrate or suffer. I must think and act fast and do correct things at all times in accordance with the teaching mandate given to me as an officer, irrespective of my interests and comforts, even in the absence of supervision and guidance. So you can go through this. This is I have taken a brief of one of the speeches which is given to his troops and the cadets while we are training in the office. Like I did my training in Officers Training Academy. We have a lot of training institutes. For the officers, we have IMA Dehradun, where we got commissioned from the TS entry. If you want to join the forces after 12th, it is NDA, that's NDA Khadagwasla. Then for the short service officers, there's Officers Training Academy, that is the OTA Chennai, and OTA Gaya also. OTA Gaya is basically from the ranks. If somebody is serving from the JCOs or the lower, personal below officers rank, they have, if they are found suitable, they are given aptitude, they have to appear for a test, appear for a SSB interview, and they can qualify and become an officer and get trained from OTA Gaya also. Okay, sorry. It's not opening, sorry. Just a moment. So in brief, the duties of the armed forces are to provide the security, to basically to prevent anything from the external and internal threats. Like we have face, as we all know, we are surrounded by very friendly neighboring countries, so not very friendly. So, you know, China on one side, then Pakistan on the other side, and we have a very imbalanced country called Sri Lanka, which is having an internal political situation, and on the seas also we have dominance of other countries. So prepare, and we have certain internal threats also. So to prepare from any internal and external threats, as well as now in the recent times we are seeing the army getting involved in the lot of help in the natural calamities. You might have seen now, now we have a separate force, that the NDRF, National Disaster Relief Organization. But before that, any you might have seen any earthquake or floods or any natural disaster, Indian Army is called in to give relief and for helping the situation and for recovering and provide rehabilitation, quick protection for the quick in case some shelters are needed, because we have engineers, Corps of Engineers, then AMC, Army Medical Corps. We have a entire corps which has a dedicated forces of doctors, so they can be immediately called for any of these areas where any relief or rehabilitation operations are required in case of natural disasters. Then, so these are certain duties which are indicated for our. As we know, our army is a voluntary army. Nobody tells you to join. Nobody, like in other countries, there are certain countries like China there in which you are mandated to give 5 years to this. So our Indian Army is one of the largest voluntary service army. So anybody coming into joins with his own will. So voluntary submission of the self, and so these are, you can just go through this. The other important thing is we are not supposed to have any political opinion. When you are like, we all, whether we are, of course we are the citizens of India, we have a right to vote, but we have to be apolitical. Whoever comes as the ruling party, we have to go by the words and the ideology of that particular this thing. So as a soldier, I can, like in the recent times, we have been banned from the social media. So we don't have any, as a soldiers, we don't have any Facebook, Instagram, or other social media apps on our phones. That's not allowed. Expressing our political views or, kind of speaking against some particular leader or a political organization, that's not a part of the armed forces. That's not allowed. And being apolitical does not mean you are disinterested or cynical or from the politics. It just amount to, so it is understanding the responsibilities, but always always taking the decision of the top leadership as the final decision and going by whatever the government says, it is the law. So that's the same thing I've highlighted over here. Yeah, one of them is developing keenness and urge to gather knowledge. As we all know, कि somebody feels कि पढ़ाई बहुत हो रही है, so let's join फौज, खत्म हो जाएगी पढ़ाई, and we can just, khana pina free and we can relax. No, that's not the deal. There are so many courses in the army that even my course mates, when they joined, they were like, I joined army to get padhai se chutkara paane ke liye. So that's not the deal. There are so many courses. For every promotion, you have to clear certain exams. For every, kind of posting, every new assignment, you have to go do some specialized courses. So it is actually more padhai. then actually, so in my career, like out of 21 years, I did 9 courses, and of 9 of them, 4 are 6 months. So you see the kind of and for every promotion also you have to clear certain set of exams. So if I have to become, say, from a captain to a major, I have to clear a part B exam. That is a set of 5 exams, and they are not easy exams. They have very tough subjects like tactics and military history and military law, because an officer is supposed to know everything. So these thick books, and you have to study and clear. Only then you pick up your next rank. And even for your Part D, you have to clear when you have to get promoted to a lieutenant colonel. So the padhai does not end. It actually becomes more rigorous when you join the forces. For every assignment, for every promotion, for every new posting. Like if some people might have seen the paratroopers and all, they are doing this. We see army only from the angle of, all these operations and all. But behind these, there are a lot of supporting arms which support these so that they can go and do their operations in the front. So for every assignment, every new task, every new scenario, like if I'm inducted into a high altitude area, my body is not acclimatized. So for that there are certain courses you have to do to acclimatize, to get trained to work in that sub-zero temperatures. So we have specialized schools, specialized institutes which train you, which season your body to operate in those areas. So it is a never ending, and it's a learning experience. When you join the forces, it's not a job, it's a way of life, Yeah, this is very important. According to the, when you join an army, you don't, actually you become a true Indian, you forget your own religion. I joined into a regiment which was a totally Tambi regiment, which is a South Indian troops, I am a Punjabi myself, so I didn't know a word about Tamil. So I learned Tamil. So that's how you interact with your troops. And all the drills, all the prayers, everything is done in Tamil. And you will see it's a very common thing to be in a unit where you have a Sarv Dharm Sthal. You will have Muslim troops, you will have Sikh, you will have... so we don't have a mandir in our regiment. We have a Sarv Dharm Sthal. In one place only, there will be one side, there will be a temple, there will be a church, all in one complex. So sometimes Sikh troops will be, led by a Muslim commanding officer, but he will be using the war cry, Bale Sonehal. He will be speaking Sastriyakal. So that's how it works. If I am going to now I know my entire, my regiment is a Tambi Sapper, so I know it. Irnotro unne ippodum munne. So it is 201, always ahead. I will speak when I'm talking to my troops, my war cry, my song, regimental song. I'll learn it says victory, victory always. I'll say vetri, vetri, itulum vetri. I will not say victory, victory, always victory. Ya hum jeetenge. It's how. So any officer, irrespective of your caste, creed, religion, you to gel with your troops, you have to know their language. You have to know what they speak, what they dress, what they eat. Presently, if somebody offers me a parantha or an idli, I'll choose an idli. So that's how my even taste palette changes when you join an army. So these are all, you can just go through that. I'm just relating to my personal experiences. These are all, kind of more for bookish things. Yeah, code of conduct, ethics play, dignity even amidst violence, self-imposed checks, atrocities, what all. I think it's taking time to. How much time, ma'am, I have spoken? 15-20 minutes are gone. Okay, ahead there are certain, the slide is not working, but I know there are certain, ma'am, customs and which you keep seeing in the, like one of them is reveille and retreat. So this, and one of the most common is you might be seeing people saluting each other. You see कि officer है तो इसको salute करना है. So it comes from an ancient custom. Whenever it comes from the early ages, so whenever these early men, they used to always keep fighting. So when you visit somebody else's cave, so you don't have a weapon, so actually you raise your hand like I'm empty handed. So it started from that time. So now it is how you salute with weapons. So weapon is always on either your butt or either on your this thing on your shoulder. So when you salute with your weapon, it is actually a submission, like, you know, I don't mean harm, I am friendly to you. So it comes from I give a slight background to that. Then the other very common traditions are like reveille and retreat. So these are when if anybody has stayed close to a cantonment, you might have seen a bugle at 6 o'clock. So that is the time when everybody has to rise, and all arms on hand. Matlab all the soldiers have to be armed by that time. And the second is the retreat. Retreat is the time, even from the early ages, even since our army has adopted, it's right from the time of the British era. So a lot of customs, a lot of traditions are, adopted from the Britishers. So this is also used to be a tradition at the time of British era, when all the soldiers, they used to go to their barracks and used to, kind of relax. The military band used to play a retreat kind of for 15 minutes to announce that now they are off duty. So these two are followed as a general trend. And the other customs and traditions are our mess culture. Like in my MEG officers mess, any soldier who's getting dined in, he has to drink a sapper punch. That is a very deadly punch made of all the kind of the liquors which you have, and you have to take a sip of that. And there is a bell which has been imported from Mongolia that weighs around 74 pounds. That is, so you can see you have to take the bell, keep it on the floor and keep it back. So only then you are, kind of says that you are commissioned into the, formally into the Madras sappers. So it takes a lot of courage, it takes a lot of strength. And but when you drink the sapper punch and you are, in front of your seniors, somehow it works. So, what else? Yeah, so in the end, I would like to, kind of say a few words. Like this, when the IMA was started, Indian Military Academy, Field Marshal Phillips Wallace Chetwood had given a very impressive speech. So from that, we have derived a Chetwood credo. That is a motto on which is engraved everywhere. Even in my office, I'm sitting. It will be engraved somewhere in the institute, and it goes like: the safety, honor, welfare of your country comes first, always and every time. The honor, welfare, and comfort of your men you command comes next. Your own ease, comfort, and safety comes last, always and every time. So these words are from the speech, and then they became immortalized and etched in the stone on the walls of Chetwood building, and have become the abiding touchstone of all those who have taken the final step, or the Antim Pak. Whenever you are commissioned, so there is when you take the final step and you step outside of the drill grounds, that is called the Antim Pag. So that is called the final step. and believe in the ethos of leadership and soldiering in the purest form. So thank you. I hope you, any questions, any discussions you have, feel free.
Hello.
Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
it was an interesting talk. Thank you very much. I would like to know that you had done your BTech, means engineering you had done. So what made you think to go into the army? Or
Okay.
you were having the dream earlier only, or something, some incidents or something?
No, ma'am. That time, this campaign was going around. So these army people have come to our institute. Do you have it in you? That was going around something 2000. We were the biennial, millennial passing out people. That at 2000, I passed out in 2000. So that time this campaign was going on. Do you have it in you? So all of my course mates, all my college mates, we decided let's go for the SSB. So I appeared for the SSB in Air Force as well as Army. Cleared both of them, but in Air Force I did not get the flying wala. I got the ground duty. So I thought, let me join something which is a technical, and so that's how. In my family, there's nobody in the army. So I was the first one. So even my parents were slightly skeptical at the beginning, kya hoga, and very interesting. Like when I joined, I told you earlier I joined in during Parakram. And it takes some time for the pay and allowances to come. It takes around 5-6 months. So my father, I used to keep asking for money. Papa, paise bhej do, whenever I had to. He was like, actually तुम्हें रखा है ना फौज ने, रख लिया है ना तुम्हें, तुम ऑफिसर ही हो ना उधर, कुछ और तो. They used to always keep suspecting is it really you are. Then I used to send them a photograph. Yeah, I'm an officer. I'll get. Then eventually I got the arrears. So when you go to the army, so even my parents and my family had the same thing. Kaise, but now after this thing, like my in-laws side, everybody is in the army. My father-in-law, he's a naval officer, and both of my sister-in-laws, they are married to the Navy. So it's that side everybody understand. But in the beginning, now they came to all the places where I was posted. They visited, and now they are happy and proud.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, you want to ask something?
Thank you so much for the talk, madam. Actually, we are proud of you.
Thank
and
you
we are
so
really
much.
happy that you are here.
Okay, much
Yes,
obliged.
Thank you. My question is a very simple question. That is like, you said you cannot have your Facebook account or Twitter, Insta account. So after retirement also you should not have it, or?
No, now I'm on Instagram. So that was the first thing I did, but you will not find, earlier around 4-5 years back, we were allowed, but what was happening is a lot of people were posting pictures. So what the China government, they have a cyber division, so they keep tracking like where all are you posted, so they gather and corroborate all these information. So it was kind of an intelligence issue. So that is why we were told everybody to delete all social media. Even our phones did not have these apps. I mean, if you have, because all these phones are Chinese only, So yes, I mean, that is what the Sonam Wangchuk had started, that ban all those Chinese brands. So it comes from, because they see army and what we go through. So all this intelligence get leaked. So we were told not to have even these apps also. So we deleted all these apps. So that we have separate lines. There's a signals division which controls all the communication. So we have our secured lines of communication. So anything you have to share, like our whereabouts, or like if I'm moving somewhere, so we share on that. It is not on social media accounts. You're not supposed to have a picture of your uniform, so in any of the accounts, because people started posting, me on my tank. So once a person poses on a tank and posts, so you come to know, the enemy comes to know, okay, there is an artillery regiment here and there is a tank division here. So from the equipment you can make out the ORBAT. ORBAT is the organization in the like field. So you can clearly make out from the equipment detail that what all unit is there. So that was banned. So because officers you can educate, but lower staff, ORs and all, you cannot control the families and everything. So everybody was educated to avoid. So civil dress, yes, you can have a photograph and your WhatsApp account, but you will never find any army person, you know, having a social media account and posting, this is me, and, you know, firing my gun. So that's...
My second question is, like, you said we should be apolitical, like we should not be in some particular party. So is there any rule that after this army force, like there are some
Special
rules that
Power Act,
you should not join a political party after this? So
yes. During that you cannot join a political. Well, once you quit, I have seen a lot of my colleagues who have joined. So even them, like this Olympian apne jo the, he had also joined BJP, but he quit before that.
Just after quitting, just the next day only we can join. So there is no rules.
So. I'm not very clear whether you can join the next day or not. But yes, while in service, you cannot join or be affiliated to any political party. You have to be apolitical. That is the thing. Or you actually we cannot form unions also. Like it's you cannot make like we are an officers union, hamari mange puri karo types. So that is not, you cannot form any unions, you cannot be a part of any political group. So that is the deal. Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Madam, you are in Tamil Nadu, right?
No.
You are Thambi some regiment.
Yeah, Thambi Sapper, yeah.
So what is your favorite food, madam, in Tamil Nadu? That Tamil food.
Pardon?
What is your favorite food?
Favorite food is idli, but I also like that appam also. I'm very big fan.
I think appam is Kerala, madam.
Okay, yeah, but I have in my regiment there are all 4 states troops. So it is called a Thambi unit, but all 4 states are there. So appam and I think even I love rasam and sambar also. Yeah.
So you are a vegetarian?
No. I am a non-vegetarian.
No non-veg item come, madam?
Yeah, probably Kerala pronto. Then you will say it's from Kerala. So I'm keeping myself safe. So I think idli, yeah, is good for me. Yeah.
So what about your family life, madam?
My family, my husband, he's in hospitality. He was earlier working with Radisson. Now he has his own business. And I have a 15-year-old son. He will be going to 10th now. Yeah.
While you commissioned in the army, aren't you missing your children, family time? How you cope up with that?
No, actually, when I got commissioned, I was a bachelor. I got married when I was after 2.5. I was commissioned at 21.5 years. So I was very young. I had just out of my engineering college, and I think within 3 months I was in the training academy. And at 22 I was already a commissioned officer. So by the time I got married at 25.5. So 1 or 2 stations I had difficulty where like my son could not be, especially on the courses, certain courses you can't take your children, but my parents were supportive in that time. So otherwise Abhi was my son. He was with me in all the tenures. Luckily I did not have any tenure where I can't keep the family. So my son was with me, but in like certain places like in night duty check and all, I used to go when in JNK and all. Then I used to leave my son with the maid and other. So it's a adjustment and sacrifice from him also. But then he gets to meet new people every time. And yeah, it is difficult. Every 2 years he makes his friends and leaves them, and then makes new friends, new school. But he's traveled the entire country, and he's a proper army brat. What to say? Yeah. Now he's, yeah.
Last question, madam. What do you most like about Bangalore, madam? Bangalore?
I like the best part is the weather. Of course, everybody would agree. The best part is the weather only, because being a North Indian, I'm like 45 degree in the summers and 0 degree in the winters. So this part is like, best part is the weather, and the second is the greenery, the trees. Yeah, that I really like, especially about this campus, IISc. Yeah. Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, can you tell something in Tamil which you learned when you were in Chennai?
Okay. Okay, this is like a opening line. Vetri edulum vetri, thambi sendra kalagum mulundum, engum vetri edulum vetri, thambi sappadske. I know the entire song, but it's like Bharatattinelle kaake munne kelluvom, Bharamudun sappad kolliye pedi villuvom, poti ville aate edulum vetri kolluvom, medra sappar sendra kollu, nemadanelluvom, vetri edulum. It's an entire, it's our group song. So I've learned it by heart. Even my regimental song is in Tamil only. Yeah. Thank you.
Madam, thank you for your very good talk actually.
Thank you.
And how do you like the institute, madam? I mean, like...
I love the institute. As I appeared for the interview in December, and the moment I landed, I find it similar to a cantonment, very organized, green. And so yeah, I really like working here, and it's a very good, rather than, I had a couple of corporate options also with me, but I chose this over any other because my ideology that I just now talk is like somehow be associated with public service. Somehow corporate is not my cup of tea. What I feel like over a period of time being in the service industry, somehow associated with the motherhood, motherland, and being in the country. So government service. So I wanted to be here. So that's why I'm like really liking IISc.
What are your targets, goals and tasks as a project engineer come estate officer at Indian Institute of Science? I mean, like, what are you have any targets like in your service, in your tenure in the campus?
Okay, like my targets are like what best possible, like over a period of time I have acquired over my service in my military engineering services, certain specifications, certain like planning and like what to say, like I don't have any particular like target, what to say, whatever funds are given to us to achieve the user satisfaction. Basically it's a service industry, so whatever the departments, the students and the users are projecting us to give quality work to them, to give the best installations, best because what I feel the installations are like the quarter guard of of any institution, like water supply, electric supply installations, STPs, to modernize them, and then to give whatever work or project we are executing as a unit, CCMD, we give quality work and best possible time. Yeah.
Last question, madam. Actually, what is the frequency that the military communication operates?
Frequency, I'm not aware.
Okay.
Sir.
Okay. Thank you, madam.
Yeah,
Thank you.
It's not like some frequency. We have laid down signal cables and substations also. There are several frequencies to that. Yeah.
Hello, madam.
Yes.
Thank you so much for your talk.
Thank you.
I just have a question.
Yeah.
So, you've been in the army for more than 21 years.
Yeah.
So, when you ended a civilian job, how was that transition?
I think the transition was very smooth thanks to my team, CCMD, which is sitting right here. And yeah, I've got a wonderful team, and almost like I had a lot of tenures in MES. So there are a lot of parallels between the working and the SOPs which we are using in IISc and the Army. although it is more regimented and more like I had a tenures in which it is totally different, but on certain like works tenure, the kind of appointment which I am presently, I've had few tenures in military engineering services. So almost the IISc working of CCMD is parallel or almost the same. So the transition was very smooth and I could draw parallels between, okay, you वहाँ पे ऐसा बोलते हैं, यहाँ पे you call it that. So it was a very smooth transition. And although I will not say I'm totally now, gelled into, it's a learning process. It's been, what is today? It's, okay, it's just 2 months. I'll be finishing tomorrow 2 months. So in these 2 months, it's been a very smooth transition thanks to the team. And I think every person, I don't see that I'm the head of a CCMD, so I should not learn. Even I can learn from a project associate or even from a, anybody, any engineer at any level, because anybody who has been in spend more time in IISc, so they'll be teaching me something, and it will take me a good amount of time to, kind of totally gel. But thankfully, the transition has been very smooth, and I'm really liking it here. Yeah.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you so much. I think 1:30 ho gaya. I was initially planning it to be just 15-20 minutes. Anybody? Thank you so much for your valuable time and wonderful audience you have been. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lieutenant Colonel Navaneet Lobana. Your experience really was so much inspiring and guiding, and especially actually I like that bunker thing. Seriously, it must be really difficult to have life in bunkers, especially we have only seen in the pictures. So thank you very much for sharing your experience and all the questions you answered. So thank you very much for your time, and I would like to call everyone to join for the refreshment. Thank you.